Hi guys, time for the 3 o'clock read, and we are on chapter 16. Elsa, are you ready? Jade, are you ready? Varjak dreamed. He dreamed of the wild mint air and the bright, silent sunlight. He dreamed of a sky so clear and blue he could see the stars, though it was daytime. He dreamed he was in Mesopotamia. But even in his dreams, his heart was breaking. "She's gone, Jalal," he said. "I've lost her." His ancestor made no sign of hearing. He just kept on walking up and up the slope. Varjak walked with him, lost in his own thoughts. The mountain range hung there, huge and perfect as the sky. After a while, the ground levelled out, and they reached a plateau. That means like a flat bit. Far above was a mountain peak. It towered over them with some jagged claw of rock. Varjak couldn't see the way up. The rock face was impossibly sheer, steep, impossible to climb. He turned. Rising from the plateau behind him was a series of steep steps carved into the mountainside. The steps led to an open doorway, an entrance into the mountain itself. A trickle of water flowed out of it into a silver stream below. Got some great illustrations, I don't know if you guys can see. Around this doorway were strange carvings, images of people and cats, men with the heads of animals, all sounds a bit like the Egyptians, and creatures with faces of men. It looked like some kind of temple, but it was hard to see clearly. It was obviously very ancient. The stone was crumbling and the mint grew wild around it. The scent was intoxicating. It filled Varjak's mind. Jalal padded up the steps. Varjak followed. The steps were littered with debris, pieces of blue and amber stone that had come away from the carvings. Fragments that had once been part of a picture, but now just lay in ruins. Jalal walked to the entrance into a chamber so dark Varjak couldn't see the walls, only the glow of his ancestors' eyes, leading him on silently. He followed. They walked through the chamber and down corridors with the only sound was the trickle of water. At last they came to a place so dark Varjak couldn't even see Jalal's eyes anymore. It was pitch black. Varjak closed his eyes. It made no difference to the view. "Here we are," came Jalal's voice. "Here you may see truly." "Here?" said Varjak. "But I can't see a thing." "Keep looking," said Jalal. Varjak kept looking. The view didn't change. Absolute dark was absolute dark. Yet he felt moisture beneath his paws, and he thought he could hear a soft trickling sound like musical note, just below the surface of the silence. "Can you see it yet?" said Jalal. "No, but what's that sound?" "Keep looking." Varjak shuffled in the dust. What was the point of this? He was never going to see and hear. And the dark was making him nervous, pressing in on him. "Can you see it now?" said Jalal. "Of course I can't," said Varjak. "You know I can't, and you can't either. This place has no light. It's always going to be a place of no light. I'm never going to see anything in here." "It is a place with no light," said Jalal. At that moment. But what seems true at once may not be true the next. As he spoke, Varjak blinked, for he thought he saw something. A narrow window in the wall had begun to glow. It was no wider than a whisker, but yes, it was glowing, glowing brighter now. Light was coming into the darkness, filling it. They were standing in a magnificent chamber full of carvings. Varjak looked up. He saw the ceiling far above him, saw the walls around him, saw Jalal right beside him. Jalal was gazing down at a pool of water as blue as the Mesopotamian sky. There was a tinkling sound coming from it. Just because you cannot see, said Jalal, does not mean it's not there. But how? Those mountains are so high, the sun usually passes between them. Once a year, for the briefest of times, the sunrise clears the mountain, and then a single ray of light comes streaming in through that window. Oh, it reminds me of the Mayans and the temples, do you guys remember? At this time, and this time only, the light falls upon the water. It is the source of the river. It is completely pure, so clear that we may see through a space and time here to the truth. And now it seemed to Varjak that the water in the pool was flickering, its surface blurring and glowing. The tinkling sound was changing. It felt like it was calling him. He looked closer. In there you will see truly, said Jalal, though the truth may not be what you wish to see. Do you dare? And that was the end of chapter 16. On chapter 17 tomorrow. See you guys next week.